welcome. My name is Maryam, and I am a psychic medium. Welcome to our special edition of Ask the Aliens. And let's say hi to Harlow, my co host, producer, researcher for this show, as well as our two other pages, Behind the Hauntings and True Crime Psychic Eye, which those
Definitely.
links are down below in the description. So give us a follow if you enjoy the paranormal or true crime. If you're watching from my page, please jump over to our new page titled Ask the Aliens and give us a like and follow. A lot of content coming out over there. We're putting out content weekly. That link is also below in the description. But tonight we have a special guest. So we wanted to come on a special evening to hear her story about her multiple experiences that she's had with the Praying Mantis group, the Pleiadians, and I think there might even be a few more stories in there. So let's welcome Jenny.
Hi, so nice tonight.
Yeah, thank you for coming on and sharing your story because that for some people can be the hardest part is talking about these experiences because they are unusual to say the least. They can be unnerving. Some people can have incredible experiences. It just really all depends on where we're at in our development and our growth in our spiritual journey. So, thank you for sharing yours tonight. Harlow, is there anything you wanted to add before we jump in?
No, I'm eager to hear her story.
Hi, April, New Zealand. I want to live in New. I've always wanted to live in New Zealand. And we have another one from New Zealand, Robin. Oh my gosh, we've got people from New Zealand. That's awesome. Even more the reason for me to come and live with either Robin or April.
Definitely.
And who else? Violet, of course, we have to have Violet here.
Violet.
Don't worry, Violet's gonna get nervous and a little scared through some of it, and that's okay. We're gonna hold her hand. Um, oh,
Okay, Rob.
Robin said she's from California, not from New Zealand. Robin was saying hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Sorry, Harlow, I cut you off. I was like, Harlow, do you have anything to say? And then I'm like, oh my God, people are from New Zealand who are watching. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm eager to hear the story. And from what I understand, she's got quite a few experiences.
Yes. So, let's jump in. Let me make sure we've got everything set up. We've got the comments flowing on the screen, which is what I wanted. Jenny and Harlow, feel free once I get in there and start channeling. You can interrupt, you can ask questions, you can stop me at any point if needed. So let's get started. Why don't you start with your very first experience?
Um, sure. Yeah, so the very first experience that comes to mind, I don't have the exact date, but I was kind of exploring my spirituality, my own intuitive psychic abilities a little bit more. I was in a special like clairvoyant program for a couple years, and that I did a lot of meditation. And so one night before I went to bed, I went on YouTube and I found this meditation video with music playing, and I just listened to that kind of to de-stress and relax before going to bed. And I passed out, and I had this incredibly vivid dream where I saw myself ascend, and I was able to see like the layers of, I guess, different dimensions, and I could see up to like 15 dimensions. And I saw my shoot out, and I went up, and I remember just thinking like, where am I? No idea where I was. Um, and I landed somewhere like on a cloud or somewhere where I was sitting, and all of a sudden, two mantis beings, they were huge, showed up right next to me, and I could feel like the energy was very sinister, very cold. They were definitely like kind of trying to pretend they were being friendly to me as a human, but it was really clear to me they were not friendly. Um, and I was very terrified because the size of that was just so big. I'm talking like 16 feet tall. And I'm sitting in between them, like as if I was in the dream right now. They're right next to me. And one of them puts his arm around me, and they talked like this. And, they said, "Oh, human, how did you get up here? Why are you here?" And didn't know. I didn't know why, what happened, what was happening. I was very confused. I just knew I didn't belong there. I knew that I was out of my own dimension, that wherever I had traveled to was not where human. They made it clear that this is not where human. They basically said, "Look, you're lost. This is not where you belong, and I don't know how you ended up here, but you're here with us now." And I felt one of them take his claw, and he tried to put it here into the crown of my head. And something about that terrorized me. I just knew, like, I need to get out of here right now. And that's kind of happening somehow. I don't know if another came in and saved me or helped me. I feel like it did, or it was just my own spirit knowing, maybe my guide stepping in. And I shot, boom, right back into. I woke up like gasping and just in the dark, my heart pounding, and I was terrorized, like so scared I could barely move. Um, and just sat up in bed, and I think it was the middle of the night, and I just thought, what the hell just happened? Like this was not a normal dream. It was just incredibly vivid, and also just really, I was just really thrown off. I again the little meditation music I had listened to, I didn't think that it would induce anything or create this situation. So um the next morning I woke up and I Googled, because I had never known that there were praying mantis beings. I knew that there were the grays, right? That's what I grew up in the 80s, and grew up in the 80s, we all heard about the grays, and there was all these shows about the aliens, blah blah blah. And also, just want to be clear, I have never sought out these experiences. I, in fact, try to push it away and I don't want to have these experiences. Are not things that I'm trying to connect to or channel. But the next morning, I Googled, is there praying mantis beings? And I was horrified because up came all these images on Google search of praying mantis, and it was exactly what I had seen in my dream. And so that validation for me that whether it was just a dream, whatever I experienced, supposedly there is other types of beings in the universe that may look like this. And I think I did have that experience. Over the years, I think what's been confusing for me is that every time I hear people talk about praying mantis beings, they only talk about them as these intelligent, loving, kind beings that are here to help us. They have come to people, and that's just was so far from my experience. If anything, I just feel over and over like, do not trust these beings. They are pretending to be a certain way, and what I maybe saw behind that, behind the veil or behind the mask, was a being that I think did not have best intention. And so, yeah, I just really wondered, one, what was that experience, and two, what was this about? Like, I can feel it even as I'm talking. I feel the energy. Like, it just gives me. Been probably a good 10 years since I experienced that, and it's like it was yesterday. I still think about it sometimes. So I've also, after that, began to have aversion to praying mantis. And I'm going to pause there because I did have a physical manifestation of the praying mantis. um, and that led to another encounter with another alien group at a different time. So I'm just going to pause to give some space.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was going to say yes. So talk to me about when you say you can still feel it. Like when you talk about it, what does it feel like? What is that? What is that experience today like for you when you say I can still feel that?
Yeah. So I'm feeling it right now. I feel a tightness at the head. I feel my actual crown closing down, but maybe out of protection. And it does feel like a hard surface or hard claw, almost like a claw trying to come in a little bit. Um, yeah, and I mean, I spend time, like, if this were to come up, if I think about it, then I spend time clearing out my space or my mental space, so I'm not really tuning into that energy. Um, but that's sort of what it felt like something trying to suck your energy or trying to come in.
Okay. And have you experienced that group again since then?
Only not in the astral, only in the physical. Like, so okay. I and again, like I I know that. perhaps I'm just maybe really now sensitive to seeing praying mantis, but where I live, California, I don't see them very often. I mean, I'm like in the city, and it's just not something I grew up seeing. And also, even in the area that I originally am from in Southern California, that's not something that I see normally. But they show up. So
Mhm.
I sent a couple pictures, and one of the pictures is literally on my door. Like, I came home one day, and it was nighttime, like 10 p.m., and there was a praying mantis on the door looking at me. And
But
I'm just
this is an insect, not the alien group.
not the alien group, but it felt like a physical manifestation of these beings, or as if they were like little messengers. Hello, we're looking at, we're just saying hello to you. And again, I don't know if that those were just praying mantis like insects, or if it was truly like in an insect form in a physical, just making contact in a different way.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, they showed up for a while, in that way, like on my front door. Or they were like on my deck. And again, I had never seen them before, and then they never showed up again after that. Like, it was just bizarre. And then I did have an experience where I went to Maui, and in Maui, they began to show up everywhere. Now, of course, like in Maui, it's a tropical place. I think that there's many insects like that there, but I just felt like, again, the like something about it did not feel unsettling. And they started to show up, on the screen, in my door, in the rental place I was staying at. The day I left out back to California, I am trying to get on the plane, and literally like five are flying on me and like on my clothes, where I like had to shake them off. Like, they were just attaching to, like, they wanted to come. So that's the only other been having, like, the physical. And then in contacting you, um we did an email exchange, and we were talking about the topic, which the praying mantis beings. And as I was emailing you, a praying mantis showed up on the screen of the room I was in and looked at me. And I just thought that was really funny, because it's like,
Mhm.
what are the chances? And again, I had not seen one in years, and we were really, the area I was in at the time was hot and dry. It's just not something I'm used to seeing. So, um, kind of weird coincidences. It could just be insects. It could be just praying mantis hanging around. Um, but I didn't like it. I don't like it.
Okay, that's fair. Uh, w- if you, I mean, you can ask as many questions as you want about around it, obviously. But what is the most critical like question to you? What has been like lingering for you about this situation?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's just, do I should I trust intuition and this experience of not trusting these beings, or should I be more open minded, right? Because I keep hearing everybody say these are advanced beings, they're kind and loving. Um, So I just wondered, did I just have a very good dream and I made up this whole experience, or was this a real? And should I be trusted and keep my distance from these kind of entities?
It wasn't a dream. It was a real experience. And they do have a this strange hold on you that I can't totally make sense of yet. And when we talk about alien groups being friendly, not friendly, just like with humans, you have friendly humans and you have humans that aren't friendly. So we don't want to put anyone in a, you know, um, label and say everyone is like this. I don't feel like you should be, I don't feel like you should be changing your viewpoint of the experience or of the group that you dealt with. You should continue to keep your distance and should continue to be aware of their potential and not listen to others.
What was the intention of the claw to the crown of her head?
Give me a minute. Let's see. Organizing information to harvest a better understanding of humans humans have an evolutionary understanding that we are interested in developing. And so we will reach out to individuals to gather intel and information on the species of humans. We don't feel fear should be warranted. We also don't understand why there is so much fear around who we are and what we do. You humans are equally discomfort. They're saying discomfort, but I don't think you mean that word. Disregard, disrespect other life forms.
Mm-hmm. So other species have a reason to not be excited to see us.
Humans are considered a more evolved species than we are. So we are looking to understand your evolution better. We understood that she was not wanting to be there. We sent her back.
It makes sense.
Our intention isn't to harm, and our intention was never to hurt you. But we are curious, and we do want to know more. And when we come across individuals that are also curious, we hope to have a fair exchange.
What triggered the connection? How did that connection how was it initiated?
Sorry, ask that again. You broke up.
What triggered the connection to them? How was I able to connect into them?
You're. They're saying like your energy field was open and curious, as are we. And I'll address that deeper when I come out of this too for you.
And are the pre the physical form that I see on Earth now, the ones that appear to look at me or come around in a way that's kind of different, are those physical manifestations from you, or is it just my mind to praying?
It is. It is us. But it is also your mind.
Mm,
How is it both? Because you have held the experience as trauma,
mm, mm-hmm.
and so you continue to bring us back to you. We can let you go. We don't mean harm.
Mm.
But hold on, let me say something. Okay, but hold on. You keep saying that you don't mean harm, but you've embedded a connection to her. I don't feel that it is solely her trauma that continues to bring you back to her. Mm-mm. Hold on. I've stepped into something that they're uncomfortable with. I'm going to ask you to remove whatever you have placed inside of her, whether it's energetic or physical. And then she can choose to heal her experience on her own. You have placed something in her, I can feel it. If you want information, I can help you and we can communicate on what it is you're wanting to know about humans without harming humans. I'm going to ask you to back down with her, though. Okay. You are welcome to be in communication with myself, and you are welcome to be in communication with Jenny when she allows and when she feels it's okay, without any exchange of information. Meaning, we communicate verbally as we are now. We won't be communicating in your form of communication. And as long as that is understood, we are open to hearing you and helping you. I'm removing the energy that was placed inside of you that continues to draw these insects to you and continues to connect you to this group. Yeah. I think that there are other ways for you to learn about us and understanding that two wrongs don't make a right. You can come to me and I can provide information and I can help if a human has captured one of your kind. As long as we respect the boundaries of each species. If you can respect that, as we've done with Jenny, we can continue a relationship. We meaning me and Jenny in her own time. I can help. Yeah, hold on, you guys. I'm just having a sidebar with them real quick. I'm just letting them know that I can help if humans have captured their species as best that I can from an energetic telepathic way, and that they can use me to call on them, and I will do whatever I can, and in order to continue to build and create a kinder relationship between us. They're just a little rough around the edges and are young, so they are mirroring back behavior that's been shown to them from our species. And we're just gently educating them on other ways of doing things. Just give me a sec to honor them for a moment. Jenny, do you have any more questions for them?
No, I think that's it. I want them to just know I'm a peaceful being, and that while I appreciate the exchange, I am holding boundaries going forward.
Harlow, do you have questions? Anyone in the comments have questions?
No, I don't think so. I don't see any more in the comments either.
Okay. Let me disconnect for a moment. Okay. All right. So hopefully you will be feeling just not so. Hopefully you just won't be feeling like the angst when you see the insect. You won't feel like, you know. I removed it wasn't that they implanted you with anything, but they did run energy through you. And it is sort of like this vibration that's a more fear-based than not. And it basically was the trigger, like every time you saw one, or it just kept triggering it, and it was exasperating what your brain was already trying to process from the experience. And that's been removed. So you should be feeling more at peace with this as time goes on. It may take a minute, 'cause there may be some residual, but overall, I feel like you'll be fine.
Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate your work with that.
It was, of course, I appreciate you reaching out. I think so. What I wanted to share was a couple things. Is one is this is a nuanced family, and they remind me of like a kindergartner who is throwing things and being kind of nasty. And then when the teacher sits them down, they realize that they're having trouble at home and the parents aren't, right? And so this kindergartner doesn't know what it's doing until someone helps him make sense of what's happening. And that's what they felt like. That's what the exchange was like, you guys are doing it. We don't, what's the problem, sort of, and not in, but they're also a lower vibration, so they're younger, and so they're like, well, mom's doing it, so why can't I? And to be fair, if mom is doing it, why couldn't you? And so they're just very nuanced like that, and they do carry some manipulation tactics for sure. And that's where you need someone like myself to come in and help, because not because I am any better than anyone else, but because I am not you. So I'm not carrying the fear, the anxiety, the memory. So I'm able to go in and feel all these different nuances with them that someone who had this experience may not feel, because they're consumed with the experience themselves.
Mhm.
So the takeaway is they require boundaries like a child would. If we, they do have the ability to be invasive until they are educated on how not to be invasive.
Yeah.
Sorry, go
I
ahead.
Yes, I felt very that they didn't understand human emotions. Like they kind of operated from a very logical, cold place, right? So I don't think they understood fear. It was, and I do see the like, it was like a mischievous or kind of, yeah, it was, how they presented was not who they really are. And so there's just these double layers. But yeah,
And I kind of want to shift that a little bit. They presented themselves as who they are because you experienced a moment. Didn't you say you experienced sort of a moment of warmth, a moment of connection, and then it started to go a little rough? Like
Yeah.
in the beginning, didn't you say you felt that, and then it started to turn a little ugly?
um, it was like, kind of like, hey, what are you doing? Like very much like pretending to be very like, hey, but then realizing it was really coming from a place of wanting to, it was like they wanted, which is sort of kind of,
They wanted to. You cut out. Say that last part again. They wanted to
oh,
what?
they definitely wanted information for me, right?
Yes.
That's what it felt.
So it's like the bully on the schoolyard that cozy, or it's like a used car salesman, let's put it that way, right? They're being super nice to manipulate to get what you want. But the used car salesman in the end is just basically getting sale to feed his family.
Yes. Yeah.
And is it the way everyone should do it? Well, no, but that's all they know. And they need to feed their family. And I say that not to push back against you, but to help you even understand the nuance even more, that
Yeah.
they're not manipulating because they are so smart they know how to manipulate and mess with you. They're manipulating because they're in kindergarten and they're like, if I do this, I can get my lunch money. And
Yeah.
that behavior is different, right, than someone who's really smart and knows what they're doing and knows better and still does it.
Yeah.
Does not mean you ever have to deal with them. It does not mean you ever have a responsibility to open them up into your life. It does not mean any of that. And I'll tell you why. Sometimes I will tell clients that they will need to become comfortable with connecting with this group one day, whatever the group might be. That's not the case with you. You had the experience, you learned what you needed to learn, and I can feel that you're intuitively and spiritually wise enough to understand these nuances without feeling like, no, they were mean to me, you know? And but you also have the right to say, I get it, I hear it, I'm good. I don't need to
Hmm.
do that again. Because you don't. You don't need to go there again. Uh,
No.
and yet, this happened to you so you could understand your capability as a spirit first. You had this experience to teach you. This experience wasn't this experience wasn't for nothing. It wasn't a fluke. It You opened up your crown chakra, you traveled, you left your body, you had the experience. Now, sometimes we'll do that and we'll have incredible experiences, and it's love and it's light and it's all these things. And sometimes it won't be. But both are needed in the journey. So, yeah, you are welcome to close this chapter and not look back. I feel like they may come back. Um, Let me rephrase that. I feel like you may call on them
Hmm.
10 years, 15 years from now. I feel there's a connection there. It feels very maternal.
Hmm.
And your spirituality, your consciousness is going to rise to such a degree that it may even happen sooner than that. That you actually are going to desire. It's going to be no different than someone's consciousness raising and them saying, I'm going to go teach meditation now. I'm going to go teach what I know now. I'm seeing you going, I'm ready, like in a very maternal way. I'm going to go teach. I'm going to teach them.
Hmm.
I'm going to teach now. And you're going to be coming back in at a level of consciousness that I'm at, to where it's just like you walking into a room of kindergartners and you're like, okay, I need everyone to sit down for a sec. And like the kindergartners already know you're in charge because they see you're an adult, and your consciousness will have raised so much that that's what's going to happen. You're going to choose to go back and be their teacher, and they're going to understand. Just because, like tonight when I was talking to them, and I don't know if you guys could see, but when I put my hand out, it's because they were trying to control me and manipulate
Mhm.
me. And so they were able to understand I was just the teacher, and they were like, "Oh, okay, I have to sit down now." And that's all it is. But I do see you going and doing that. And when you do it, you're going to love it, and it's going to be exciting for you. And it's because it's going to feel like you're teaching a room full of children how to raise their consciousness.
Hmm.
And the importance of that is huge right now for us, because when you are able to, and I want to kind of correct myself, is there I was saying 10 years and they're saying it'll probably happen much sooner. Not they meaning the praying mantis, they meaning your guides. It'll probably happen much sooner. But they are playing a role in affecting life on planet Earth.
Hmm.
So you are going to, your work is going to be desperately needed to affect this planet and theirs. So that time will be coming, and I say that in a way to encourage you to see how your consciousness will quickly shoot up, and you'll be like, "Oh, I'm excited to go back and do this. I'm excited to do this work."
Yes. Thank you. You gave me chills. You were, and I can hear it. 5 is what's coming up for me, like 5 years from now. Uh, yeah. So, and I'm very much learning to become neutral to beings. In fact, in the last 3 months, I would say I've been having more and more experience. I mean, I'm always having experiences, but 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 with my experiences now that used to frighten me, I there's moments where I'm like, wow, I'm not afraid. I don't feel afraid. I'm able to actually just experience, observe, and be neutral to it. Um,
That's huge.
yeah, yeah.
That's beautiful. Perfect. Okay, I know you have. I will probably only have time for one more, but tell us. You have another. You got a lot of stories. What's another big story that you want some answers to?
Yeah, well, it kind of ties into the praying mantis. So I had to Maui with a partner at a vacation. We stayed on this ranch, Hana, which is further out away from anything. It's like acres of land. You're just out connecting with nature. And same thing. I went to sleep. I had this like vivid experience where
Wait, hang on, Jenny. I couldn't. I couldn't. Is it just me or Harlow? Are you having a hard time hearing me
No,
too?
it's like you're lucky if it's every other word. Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
hard to.
Did you say like maybe you do? I don't want you to turn off your camera, but you said the audio is better with the camera off.
I can try it. Um,
Or you said you don't have earbuds.
I have them, but I don't think they're connected. I can
When
call.
when you're this close, it's better, right, Harlow? When she's that close to the computer.
It comes and goes.
Do you want me to call? I can call. Um,
I mean, that sounds good right there. Keep
You're,
going.
yeah, you're sounding good where you are right there. So give it a shot.
okay. I went to and I stayed on this ranch, away from everything. It was just pure land, pure nature. And that night, I had an incredibly vivid dream again. And I woke up on a ship, and I saw myself on the ship and was exploring, and out came a female and a male figure. So beautiful. I mean, just very beautiful. I think they were wearing blue, piercing blue eyes, blonde hair, tall, Nordic looking. And I was just in awe of them. And I could just feel such good energy. I mean, I just really, really wanted to be in their presence. But they said to me, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be on here. So it was like another experience where I'm not supposed to be wherever they are. I somehow ended up there, and I don't know how I ended up. And the curiosity got to me, and I wanted to go past them because I could see there was another room behind them. And I saw the ship was metal. I could see it was like very advanced, and I was just so curious. And so I tried to go past them, and they just immediately stopped me. And they said, "No, you're not. This is not for you. You're not supposed to be here." And boom, I woke up, and I was.
Mm.
And then the next morning, I talked with the owner of this Airbnb, this ranch. Turns out that she, with a group in Maui, had been channeling, I think they're the Lumerians. She had been channeling, she channels them every Sunday, and she had gridded the entire ranch full of like crystal, Lemurian crystal. And then,
Interesting.
yeah, and then they would do a call in, they would try to call in these beings with singing. I didn't know, I was staying in a place where these was happening, right? And she didn't disclose that to me. So I feel like I maybe just picked up on that and
Mhm.
was open, and then just ended up there. But yeah, so I am wondering if I have a connection to these beings further than just having accidentally shown up on the ship. I'm wondering if they took me, or if I went on the ship, and I'm wondering if I have a past with them. Like, do I have a family connection to them? Uh,
Okay, so a couple things. One is you obviously you astral travel when you meditate or even when you go into like right before that sleep state. And so offline you and I can talk on how to manage that a little bit better. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you're just sort of like it's like if you just get in the car and hit the gas and aren't like aware of anything around you, and you're just like, I'm just gonna keep going until someone stops me. And so both times somebody stopped you, right?
Mhm.
Mm. Yeah.
This group stopped you because they don't want, the reason why they don't want humans there, I talk about this a lot, is because humans and planet Earth are very toxic, and they don't want that interfering with their existence, basically. uh and they're not meaning it to be mean or hard. It's just, it is what it is. So you went to this group because, yes, this group communicates with this island, with the people there. That's like, it's really straightforward. Yes to all of that stuff. What we need to work on with you is honing that skill set so that there's more intention there, and we aren't just flying around the galaxy. Not that there's anything wrong with that, and that's really how most of us learn, and that's what most of us do in the beginning. I did that too. You're just flying all over the place, and then you're thrown back into your body, and there's a lot of emotions that go with it. You obviously, from our first read with the Praying Mantis, you're obviously a teacher of the galactic skies. uh, and so your work, as your consciousness evolves, you're going to be your work is going to be dealing directly with, that's the word I was looking for. Everyone uses the word star seed now. They don't like the word aliens. They like the word star seed. Doesn't matter, they're the same thing, right? So, but you are this like professor of the galactic skies, and as your consciousness continues to grow, your growth is coming from your guides that are in starseed bodies physically currently. So some people have guides that are, mother, father that passed, their ancestors, all these different places guides can come from. For you, you're working directly with beings that are in a physical body in the galactic skies to learn and raise your consciousness. So you're bumping up against all these groups, essentially looking for the group that's going to work with you. Now, this may not come literally. This may be more of a subtle, intuitive, you just start to develop, you don't really realize it, and then one day it all sort of falls into place, and you're like, oh, this is who I've been, this is where I'm getting my intuition from, or this is where the information's coming from. So you may not know right away exactly who, what, when, and where, but it will come. So when we get off, I have one more live I'm doing after this, but tonight or tomorrow I'll shoot you an email and we'll talk about what this should look like and how to really hone that skill set to get you to that level of professor of the galactic skies, and what that's going to mean for you. So none of this was an error. None of this was a mistake. Yes, you will find the family that you have strong ties with, and it very well may be that family. I'm just not being told or shown that specifically right now, probably because that's for you to find out on your own. But you can use them. Sorry, my husband's home and my dogs are letting everyone know. Hold on. Go. That's one. So we want to start with understanding that this is the end goal, and how are we going to get there?
Mm,
And
okay.
that's something that you and I can work with offline.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome. People are saying really nice things. Benno's saying really nice things. Consciousness transcends species. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, I mean, me and my peeps are wise. I won't take all the credit, but thank you. I love this. She looks more empowered.
Mhm.
That's awesome. Um, And Violet, I think you put this up. Literally saw
Yeah.
the relief on your face. That's really cool. All right. After this, I'm going to be live again with Meg. We're going to do more of a human show where we're working on our feelings. But thank you, Jenny. My gosh, the amazing stories.
It was.
Thank you
A
both.
great, yes, of course. Love the opportunity to speak to the. I've never spoken to the
It
praying
was
mantis before.
interesting too, because so often when you hear them mentioned, they're considered so evil and terrible, but that's not the case.
Yeah. And I think again, like I keep kind of hemming and hawing. It's like they can be, just like that
Yeah,
kindergartner can be a bully and steal your money. But
definitely.
when we understand the nuance of it, that's the word I
Mhm.
keep being given, nuance of it. It's like, okay, sit him down in the back, take away his, tell him he can't have his lunch just yet, and let's
Yeah.
talk about it. So that was awesome. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you
Thank
guys for joining us, and we'll be back. We don't know when we're going to be back. We come. Harlow and I are live when basically we are
Oh,
shown and told when it's
for
time
this
to go
show, yeah.
live.
But we will
So
be here Thursday for true crime.
we will be here Thursday for True Crime. Okay, thanks everybody. Appreciate it. Bye.
Night.